but it will take some time. Oh, let me check.
Yeah, I want the unibrow look. It's tradey. I do.
Okay, we're definitely live on Facebook. Oh, and we're live on YouTube for sure.
Yeah, for some reason, guys, I don't know why it does that. I have to reset the link when we do this. Emery, we cannot see you.
Okay, I'm about to add myself back now.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Somebody has a audio on something, so it's going to be feedback.
Okay, that's me. Boom.
Okay, guys, we'll give it a moment to build up. Then I can introduce all my beautiful and lovely guests. Hello, everybody, on this beautiful Manic Monday.
Manic Monday. I didn't know that Prince wrote that song until recently.
He sure did for the what did the girl group?
Vanity Six?
No, they're white.
I was about to say.
Oh my God.
I think they also did that song "Walk Like an Egyptian," if I'm right.
Yes, the the Bengals.
Yeah.
Cute.
Bengals. The Bengals.
All right, guys. So while we're building up, they went right into it. They said, Emery, are you single?
Damn.
Didn't even give us a moment to introduce. So tonight, guys, hello everyone out in YouTube world, Facebook world. How are you guys? I am very happy to be on here with my extended family, some Triangle family, and other my hard to swallow people. I would like to introduce you to cast and creators of the podcast Hard to Swallow. So let's take it to the creator and go all around, or should we just take it for ladies first? What do y'all want to do?
I can start us off. As you guys know, I'm Emery on Instagram and Twitter as Ain't I Emery, in Ballroom as Emery Garcon, that was legendary Butch Clean Face, blah. But I consider all of us creators of this show because these two people right here especially have been very hard on me. Like, actually all three of you have been like, do it. You should definitely do this. You'll be successful in this. So all of them played a piece. But yeah, you can introduce yourselves, Marcus and Lindsay.
Go ahead, Linz.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. Member of the House of Swallow. Also dedicated member of the Triangle BRTV TV family. Oh my God, C's, I've been writing for Triangle for almost 4 years.
Right. This summer makes 4 years.
Wow.
Insane. But yeah, hi everybody.
All right, and I'm Marcus, Lyrical Mar on Instagram and Twitter. I'm in the ballroom scene. I'm a Garcon as well, but nobody knows that because I'm one of the old girls.
You also look like an older version of Emery, guys.
We hear that all the time.
Yes.
Crazy.
I've been wanting to do this for a while. I've been actually encouraging Emery, everybody out there to really, as you know, we're in a very visual time, and I've been asking Emery for a while to like kind of film his podcast, and because I've been following it from its inception. It's funny, it's informative. Even if you don't, for example, I haven't watched Drag Race since season 3, even though I've been watching this current season. So this show talks about relationships, it talks about life, it talks about Blackness, it talks about gayness, it talks about just different things, and they all have their own unique point of view. So before we even go into anything, I encourage everyone out there to subscribe. They are on every platform. They're on iTunes, they're on Spotify, everyone. So you guys need to make sure, if you don't do it while you're watching, make sure when we log off later on that you guys subscribe and listen to it. And they're also on Facebook. So trust me, it's about supporting each other, and you guys will be fully entertained. So before we get into anything, John Doe said, hey, John Doe asked again, are you single? The people are
not
getting
John Doe
for it. Hey, Kieran, how are you? Rep Emery, when this is over, I need you to come to DC. Let me take you out on a date, boo. Emery lives in DC, in case you didn't know.
Do I live in DC?
Where do you live?
Where do I live?
Jules said, oop, not John Doe shooting his shot. Hello.
Can I address him?
You're gonna have to do better than being a John Doe, though. That's not hot.
Because it's
loving that
hot.
grown mate. John also loves that grown man. Wait on you. What's up, Sonny? I love you. What's your hobby, Lindsay's? Emery, you're beautiful. It's the mustache. Weird sex. Okay, love the podcast. Okay, great. Okay, so they love that grown man. Wait on you. How do you feel about that, Emery? When they want to comment, let's get into that about your grown man weight, and they have opinions about stuff like that.
It is what it is. See, you can't shake a fat bitch that ain't ashamed of being fat. Well, I start there, like no matter what weight I am, I'm comfortable in who I am, and that's just what it is. Now there is an image that I have for myself that I pursue, but I've never let outside voices decide my body shape and image for myself. It's been that way for years. Even when I was slim, people was like, if you get body, you'll be perfect. I'm like, no, I'm perfect today. I'm perfect today. And if I want that, I can have it.
So let's talk about that, ladies and gentlemen. Do you feel like too many people in the outside world have too many opinions on one's looks or one's weight and things of that nature? And how do you think that weighs in today's society with it being so social media driven?
That's a good question.
Well, let me tell you my opinion. I believe people are socially awkward and stupid. And I believe that they say shit that they ain't got no business saying. I believe that people say things to see if you're gonna say fuck you. Because I can't see hitting up a stranger and saying, wow, you're really getting up there. Hey, you don't even know me like that. Bitch, you're never getting to know me now.
So when you say people,
like John Doe here.
Okay. You saying all this stuff, but you're not saying no name. Like, what is wrong with people? So John Doe, you're out there. Marcus feel like you need to change your name into something else because John Doe is very John Doe.
If you're gonna be asking somebody on a date,
it's very nondescript.
It could be the killer.
That is slightly creepy when you even when I'm on hookup app and people don't have pictures and they be like, yo, what's up? You trying to hook up? Bitch, who are you behind this sandwich bag? Like
But the thing about that is we don't, even with a picture, you really don't know who is behind who on an app.
That too.
Right.
I mean, I already feel like I'm catfishing right now. I got a picture right now up of me when I was 147. That's catfishing.
So let me ask you guys a question. What made you start the podcast?
Do you all want to start? I know I've been talking a lot.
Lynn.
Well, one day I said, hey, Em, I think that, you'd be great at this. I think you should do it. I had no idea I would be asked. As a matter of fact, no, I think I approached him with it, saying he and I should do one. And then I was like, you could do one all by yourself. It would be dope. I think you really should do it. Next thing you know, this guy's like, hey, Marcus is on board. Would you like to join? And then another one of his friends from Chicago, let's do it. That's basically how it started.
So
I mean,
what made you round it out with Marcus? And even though they're not the bowling girl, what made you pick these people to come be a part of this intricate puzzle?
Well, for me, it was easy. And I think that you can take this advice to anything that you plan to do in life. Sometimes your vision for something is so clear that it's really just putting it on paper and making it happen. Like for me, I knew how my conversation, mind you, none of these people knew each other. Jay Bolin, Lindsay, Marcus, they knew of each other because they saw me interact with them on social media, but none of them knew each other. And so when I reached out to each about it, I'm like, I know my energy, conversation with each, and I feel like all three are strong. So it's just a matter of bringing it on the show and just inviting other people into the room. So in my head, I'm like, this is just an extension of what I already do and letting the world look in.
Yeah, pretty much.
So let me ask you guys a question. When you guys, so you do a podcast, weekly, bi-weekly? What's the schedule of the podcast?
We try to do bi-weekly, and when we record bi-weekly typically. And then I try to do an episode, like a bonus clip during that recording, so we can do weekly episodes that you will see. Now, literally, when season 3 was scheduled to come back, coronavirus came. You can't make this shit up. It was the worst timing. And even for the return episode, I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to do it because they was like, I don't know if you're going to be able to get in the studio. I'm like, ain't this about a bitch? Okay. But typically that is the schedule, every 2 weeks, and try to do every week.
So have you doing it from the studio, or have you guys just been doing it from home?
Lately, I've been doing it from home. I've been doing an Instagram live on Ain't I Emery, and it's actually been lit.
So let me ask you guys, what is the hardest thing in doing the podcast with you guys?
To me, the hardest thing would be agreeing to disagree at the right time. Okay. You know, you're surrounded by bitches who can't let it go. They gotta be right.
Which makes a good show, but can bring tension as well.
If you let it.
Okay.
If you let it.
Yeah, we're a very opinionated bunch, extremely opinionated bunch. And sometimes it gets heated. Sometimes even in the preliminary conversations, things get a little pointed. Yeah, navigating that has been a challenge for all of us.
So Emery, do you come up with all the topics, or do you guys do it collectively?
In moments of my ego getting in and being an asshole, I have came up with the whole itinerary for the episode before, but typically it's a collective experience where I kind of create a template of what we're going to talk about, and then I talk about do you think we should do this? Do you think we should do that? And I mean, they have great opinions. Like, no, take that out. Let's add this one. So Lindsay, all hands on deck.
So Lindsay, how is it being the only woman amongst these strong, Black, gay, very opinionated, intelligent men?
She's used to it.
I don't know. It's weird. It's like, well, I don't know. Emery's kind of like the focal point. That's why we're some Negroes that he knows. All three of us, we love him. And it's really, Emery's surrounded by love on all cylinders. Even though we didn't know each other personally going into it, it's just worked out that way. I'm a very opinionated girl. I stand behind everything I say. I have strong convictions. I'm just not to be played with. Neither are they either. Like I can, go back and forth with the best of them. It's not a big deal, but sometimes it does get overwhelming because I am, straight, cishet, and our show is basically queer. But I think because I have the background that I have, like, I write for a gay show. I mean, I know a lot about gay men, Black gay men in particular. Learned a lot in my 40 some odd years, and I have a lot to bring in the table to the table on that side as well. And I've always, I actually refer to myself as queer, especially queer in my reasoning, my thinking, so I'm kind of under the umbrella.
Okay. Let me take some of these comments and then I want to go and move on to some topics with you guys. John Doe actually said, a lot of people are talking about Emery's beauty. Don't make him blush, guys.
Thank you.
John said, Emery, you look great. My comment is an observation as he was so slim. His weight is beautiful then and now. Okay. Mar has very thick eyebrows. Raymond said, yes, because it's no one's place to comment on certain things. John said, Marcus, don't come for me, Miss Thing. My government name is John Doe, darling. Then he came back a letter. No, his name was Antonio for real. Okay. Everybody telling John Doe, hang it up, flat screen. Yes, they are talking about the podcast, most definitely. Matessa said the co-hosts make up such a genuine conglomerate for them to not have known each other prior. Corrupt said they always thought you was in separate location recording. Yes, they always are in separate locations.
Mm-hmm.
The podcast is very interesting.
Thank you.
And he always has to comment on the other co-host opinions. They said Lindsay keeps up, baby. Such a refreshing part of the show. I live for Linz.
Thank you.
Lindsay, she is Jupiter said, Lindsay, we are kindred spirits. Yes, Lindsay definitely keeps up for sure. She definitely have good opinions on our topics. Few requests to upload the podcast on YouTube, please. We hope that this will kind of like nudge them that way, guys. Can viewers call into the podcast?
No, because I don't fuck with y'all like that. But that's just the truth. But I do want to get to a place. I mean, I'm an introvert. It does take a lot of energy for me to invite other people I don't really know well into a space of like me doing something I love to do. Because it can go good, it can go bad. But what I've learned from recently doing these Instagram live videos, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
It's actually fun to engage with the people, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's not as bad as I imagine it to be in my head. But I always thought about like, how those people call in on like Andy Cohen and other shows. People just trying to get their little 2 seconds of fame. They want to try it.
They might get ate up fucking with us.
You already on the last 2 lives, myself and Lindsay actually went off on 2 bitches because
it was real ghetto, y'all.
Oh my god, it got so ghetto.
The girls
it was terrible, actually. It was,
and it's like once we're there, horrible. We're there.
Yeah.
No, that was horrible.
Yeah, I can't let nobody take me there again.
No.
Just get rid of them, block them.
The Brooklyn Dawn went off.
She was giving, get off this motherfucking live, pussy asshole.
Like,
literally. So guys, I'm gonna let them come up with some topics, but I have some topics and I just want to give them kind of like a preview of what you guys do on the show. So I'm gonna Real Housewives of Atlanta, as you guys know, it recently ended for the season. There was a lot of drama with Nene and Kenya and so many things that wasn't filmed on the show that was filmed off the show, just with them going back and forth on social media. How do you guys feel about that show? How do you guys feel about the cast? How do you guys feel about its future? Do you think it needs a shakeup? Are you happy with the ladies? Like, what do you guys feel about the show right now?
Lindsay.
Well, Emery does not watch Real Housewives.
I'm sorry. And it's not
he doesn't even watch any of the franchises, I don't believe.
I don't watch reality TV. And it's not because I feel better than. I literally don't have an interest in stage reality. That ain't me. But I do find out of all of them, Real Housewives of Atlanta is one of the ones that I find entertaining. I've seen clips and I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
I do think that some of this stuff is staged, but I think a lot of this stuff is real, to be honest with you.
I'm telling you from experience though, just from the outside, the little bit that I had access to, there is basically, I was going to be on a reality TV show that was going to be on Freeform. And on the first day I got on set, they literally was like, okay, we want to make sure that everybody knew each other because we want to, already have some background stories that we can play on. And then when I got there, they was like, okay, this is going to be the topic of the conversation at the table. And then y'all just go with it. So it's still reality, but also at the same time, manufactured drama. Stage. I'm not saying it's fake, it's literally staged. You got bitches who don't even really fuck with each other put in the same room. Why y'all even talking to each other? Right? So yeah, and they were like, okay, once the clam goes off, y'all stop fighting, y'all stop arguing. In what world does that work? But y'all can talk about the show. Y'all watch it. Go ahead.
I like the show. I still like it. I think the cast is okay right now. I can't think of anyone else who I'd want to give a peach to at this point, other than Marlo. But maybe she doesn't need one. But I still live for Kenya. That's still my one, honey. Like, to me, I think people don't understand people like Kenya who, if they are in an environment where there are phony people around them, even if they're on a good page with somebody, it doesn't mean they're all the way your friend. That means if you're trying me 5%, that means I'm going to revert back. I'm going to revert back to being shady towards you, and it's never going to be good until you are real with me. That's how Kenya is, and people don't get it.
Do you think Kenya ever goes too far?
Of course she goes too far, but I think that if she had genuine relationships with people, she wouldn't be the way she is.
Do you
Some
think
say she plays housewives well?
She knows how to housewife. She definitely knows how to housewife. She knows how to navigate. See, the business of housewives is what Kenya and Nene specialize in. And I think people need to realize that there's a business happening. In order to get these houses, these nice cars, and these checks, the business has to be maintained. The business is messy business. And however that comes, Nene and Kenya are well-versed in it. Phaedra was well-versed in it too. She knew how to play the game. It's like, don't insert your real feelings. You have to do whatever you have to do to concoct enough drama, create enough of a stir in order to keep those checks coming.
Right.
Everybody can't be the queen either.
What do you think is one of the most discouraging things about watching this show?
Women who keep going back to sorry ass niggas.
Do you think it comes to a point where, like, these are, older, late 40s, early 50s, and that it should come to a point like this, like some of the issues should not be an issue?
Yes. I mean, but I think we can't speak for everybody in a certain age group because that's the reality of it. There are people in that age group who act like that, and that's who they are. But
I don't know. There are times that I go back and forth with, the whole Black women representation thing. Mm-hmm. But here's what I think about that. I mean, Black women are multifaceted. Sometimes, life happens. And I'm always going to watch them because I'm always going to watch Black women being represented in any capacity on television in this manner. I just am. Period. I'm just always going to support that. I'm going to support them. I don't like how they act all the time. I don't even like how they interact all the time. You know what I mean? Kenya goes too far. I think Nene goes too far. I think Nene, taking it upon herself to, throw these things into the universe, deciding who should be on, who shouldn't be on. Does she have a producer credit? I'm confused.
Right. I think it will go to territory with her. She felt like because she was there from the beginning, she helped frame the show. She helped get the show where it was. So she kind of feels an ownership. I think that ownership goes very far at times. But to be honest with you, Kenya and Nene both have gotten my nerve this season more than any other season. They both got they both gotten on my nerve. I think that they've gone beyond the scope of the show. And I do feel like the cast needs a little shakeup. And it makes me miss someone like Phaedra. Phaedra to me was funny. It was still a little, it's like, I think there's a lot more nastiness. Like at the end of the day, the show, we all know it's about the funniness and the reads and all that with them. And it was still a little, to me, it's just like, now you got them spitting popcorn and you got them, you don't know, you got this woman and her husband talking to her At the end of the day, Kenya, you can't. His husband is just talking to her crazy, and
right.
This man. This man did not want to film. You know that he did not want to be on the show. So to me, it's kind of like, okay, you want me to film, and I don't want to film. Okay, I'm going to let everyone know how I feel about filming on this show. And I just feel like, my opinion that she has the baby is gorgeous. I feel like for someone that supposedly always wanted this marriage and this happy life, and you finally get it, I feel like you should have weighed these options. Like, why put this man on something that he knows he really doesn't want to do?
Basically self-sabotage and all the things she built.
Right, just for a storyline, because that's what it really is about, the storyline. And then like now supposedly they may be working things out. I mean, I don't know.
She had an interesting stance though. Look, you gotta think about it. Do what pays my bills or commit to the things that make me happy. And that says a lot about who she is as a person.
Yeah, but don't act like she's got something good to be dealing with. Like, he's a piece of work. So to me, I'm glad she got her baby.
But she's also a piece of work.
She's a piece of work, but I'm talking about him because he's still a man and he's still supposed to respect her. And at the end of the day, that's your woman. You chose to get with her. So don't get with her and treat her like that on national television.
Totally agree with you, because I think that's horrible for him to be married and treat her like that. But I also want to say, that also goes to when you have whirlwind romances. Because let's be honest with you, when you're first getting to know somebody, that's another representative that you're getting to know. That is not the person within the first 3 months that is relatively going to be the person you're going to end up with. So that whirlwind romance that they had, I think that they started really getting to know each other after they were married, for real.
Yeah.
They both learned things about each other.
Like that.
And I think they both learned things about each other that they really did not like. I listened to some of the things that Mark would say, like calling her a history revisionist and certain things. And I think there's certain things he just didn't like about her. And I think that if they were smart and really got to know each other, he would have realized, okay, this is not my type of bitch. You know what I'm saying? And let's just keep it real, because if you really get into a lot of their arguments, he doesn't really like a lot of the messy stuff involved with Kenya. He doesn't like filming. Think about it. And then he's very aggressive. He really wants a certain, that's why, I thought it was funny too when they was calling her Ken, and he wants a submissive wife. Not everybody's built for that. And I think Kenya was trying to, because, that's her husband and she, the baby, but you got to know who you're really being with, and you got to know what they want in their life to see if you can fuck with that. And that's vice versa. I don't think that she fully knew how deep it would be being married to him. And I don't think he knew what type of broad he was really marrying. I'm being honest.
They both got what they wanted. She got her baby and he got some fame, period.
You get from him that he wanted fame? I don't get that from him, to be honest with you.
Well,
I really don't. I don't get it from him at all.
I do.
I don't think he wanted fame.
How you gonna get with a woman?
I feel like that other one she was with. I feel like that other one that she was with, Matt, whatever it is. I feel like he wanted fame.
Definitely.
I feel like
I think he wanted to temper her fame.
Yes, I feel like
I think he wanted to dim her light.
Yes, I feel like to bring her down to earth a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when we all know that thing, like when you really know somebody and you really know somebody. And when they get in front of people, they kind of put on, and it kind of like some people, it kind of rubs you the wrong way because you really know them. You know how to get down.
Then pay for my house, pay for my car, pay for my child. Bitch, you want me to come down to earth and not be on this show for you just because we had a child? Pay my house, pay for my house.
Well, I wasn't more man already. More man, I thought it was paid for already.
But who knows? Well, what I'm saying is, if you all the way in New York, you're not even over there with the baby. Like, there's nothing that you can say.
I think as much time as he can spend away from her, he wants to spend away from her. That's what I feel.
I agree, and I feel like you knew that before y'all had a child.
I don't know. I really think that it was a process. I think we all know how it is when you're bitch. I think that he really got to know her and actually got to know her.
No, in the beginning. I don't believe that. I believe in the first 2 weeks when somebody's a little
No, I disagree. I think that she's a totally, and I'm gonna tell you something from what they all said, and I believe it. I think she's a totally different person when she is not filming.
But I think that, okay, well then
Housewives
in
is a
that
job.
way, it's her loss.
I agree with that.
If that's the truth. But I also
think about it. They all say a lot of the women, that even ones that didn't like her at first, they all said that she's different off the show. And I can
that's not hard to believe.
And I can kind of see her being softer and submit and being more, a different, and even, sometimes when you see how someone is with your child, that does something for you. You understand what I'm saying? But then,
she's definitely softer with him laying out his clothes. He's very Caribbean. He's very Trinidadian. So that didn't shock me when I saw her laying out clothes, making breakfast,
For her man, honey. but there's another side to Kenya that I think every woman has, where if things aren't exactly the way she wants, then she can have, a crazy side. Like that's nothing different than a lot of women that I know with their nigga. Is given, if you don't change this certain thing right now, I'm about to become a different person. And I think Kenya's very that. It's just on TV.
I think it's interesting that she and Nene are at odds, and those two have abandonment issues from their mothers. It's very interesting, and they sort of are like mirrors of each other.
I totally agree with you. I agree with you.
Like each other. I think they like each other.
Oh no, I think they really hate each other. For real.
I think they do. I think they hate the things they do to each other, but I think that they like each other.
I think they hate the things they see in each other, the similarities they see in each other.
I just made a tweet about this. Sometimes you're most triggered by the people that mirror your own behavior.
Absolutely.
And it shakes your whole spirit up.
Absolutely.
You're looking at yourself.
Both of them have the tendency to be bullies, arrogant, nasty. All of these things.
They both make up shit. I mean, it's across the board.
It's ridiculous.
But moving on, let's go to some of these comments and then come back.
But good luck to Kenya Moore hair care.
Okay. Okay, Antonio said, I'm the assistant. How do you all feel about the current state of affairs regarding the coronavirus and its impact on the LGBT community? We'll come back to that in a moment. We'll come back. Did you guys see the house party last night in Chi-Town during this time? Wall-to-wall people, your thoughts? Come back to that.
Okay.
How do you feel about Kenya? I think she needs to be chopped. Okay, let's make it hot. Who should come back? I'm going to answer all this. They think Kenya Moore has a mental disability. Yes, she's bipolar and narcissistic. I disagree, Lindsay. Let me call in. I want to make the convo hot. Kenya is still a cancer to the show.
Oh, wow.
People try to imitate the hot. What's up, A. Marie? How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
I miss you too, A. Marie. I've been looking for a healthy trans couple experience.
What?
I'm reading comments. Nene is an arrogant bully. They're all messy.
I agree with that.
I should be the producer for the show. No, thank you. Put some gay couple on it that's rich as hell. Okay, it's a lot of. Okay,
I agree with that. I agree. Put a gay on there.
Yeah, but
and expose all their passive homophobia. No,
I'm gonna be honest with you. They always have the same type of gays as their friends and their assistants. I'm good on that. To be honest with you.
Well,
put a gay on Housewives. You're saying?
Yeah. They've had gays since the beginning, and to me, they've always been the minstrel character in some type of way.
I don't want that because we always want to be like some type of token or gimmick.
Exactly. That's why
we need our own shit. No shit.
Okay, so they all want to know from you guys first. How do you feel about the current state of affairs regarding the coronavirus and the impact on the LGBT community? So what are your thoughts about that?
Well, I guess I'll start a little bit to say that I don't want to sing out LGBTQ people, but I want to point out Black people it's disproportionately targeting us because for those who don't have certain access to healthcare, for those that are live in, poor neighborhoods, we're disproportionately affected by this. We've been seeing a higher rate of people that are Black catching coronavirus. So I just hope that, someone steps in to give us the things that we need and give those for those who don't have access to certain healthcare and privacy and gloves and masks. I hope that they get it, But no, I haven't really taken a moment to think how it affects LGBTQ people, but I have thought about Black people. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Which overlaps.
I've definitely thought about it because I've seen some interesting comments regarding, when we talk about a pandemic, people like to bring up HIV and AIDS, and
true.
That is a touchy subject. It's not quite the same thing. Right. I think we need to be very careful in how we broach certain subjects regarding the LGBTQIA community and health. You know what I mean? I think we need to be very careful. I think we need to be informed, and making these little vacuous statements, sort of like comparing this pandemic to AIDS. I don't think it's a correct analogy. I don't think there's any congruency there.
I have seen somebody, don't quote me, but I think it was said by George M. Johnson on Twitter. But for many people with HIV, it does feel familiar. The pandemic feels familiar. But one thing I do want to point out is that just because you have HIV, that does not necessarily mean that you're higher at risk if you are taking your medication. There's this assumption that just because you have
maybe the feeling of it coinciding or reminding has to do with maybe when AIDS first came in the early 80s.
Well,
it ravaged so quickly, and so
it's the
stigmatization. It's the somewhat criminalization of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is why we have to be very careful when we talk about these things. Not to say there isn't a similarity, but HIV and AIDS was such a big thing, and the way that it attacked the queer community at large was just heinous. You know what I mean? It really was. It was terrible.
And it was called
dehumanized people.
And it was called the gay disease, the gay cancer.
Absolutely.
Gay man's disease. Right. Gay man's blood.
Just the way they treated it, the way they put it in the media, like, when people like Rock Hudson was, first one, and Gia Karanji was one of, the mainstream celebrity that was, they could put a face to it. And that's when Ronald Reagan and Nancy Reagan got involved.
Right.
I mean, there's certain, there's similarities. Like I said, the stigmatization, the the disparity in regards to Black and brown people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In regards to treatment and that sort of thing, and the level of healthcare. There are some intersections there, I think.
If you guys
still have to be careful
about the coronavirus, guys. I saw it on you. Actually watched it on Netflix today. It's called Coronavirus Explained. It's about 30 minutes.
Oh, is it good?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's I knew a lot of that stuff already, but it kind of gives you another view. They talk about that and other pandemics like the smallpox and measles and the bird flu and HIV. Right. They talk about certain things and kind of explain how swift this is and how this could have been contained.
How viruses spread.
Right. So if you guys, pretty much if they would have acted sooner in China and the United States, how we would have had a better cap on this thing, obviously. So
I do want to point out that I misspoke. As I go home every day, I do pass an LGBTQ homeless shelter. It's called Casa Ruby. And so I did thinking about how high the rate of homelessness amongst LGBTQ youth is.
Everywhere.
Like making sure that they have like the right resources, places to go, places to sleep, and just shelter, period, to protect themselves. I have crossed my mind. So I just want to point
my hope, going back, I agree with everything you guys said, but going back to what Emery was saying in the beginning about Black people in particular, I hope that they're listening and really realize what's going on, because people can throw a lot of opinion at you, but at the end of the day, you have to make your own decision. And if you already see that we're dying at a higher rate, and you see that, I hope that you do your research and watch shows like that Caesar's talking about. And there's also another one, Pandemic, which is much longer, but it kind of is a more thorough breakdown of once you watch that, you can't be confused anymore. But you just have to protect yourself. And I hope that Black people get it.
And speaking of
that's my hope.
Yes, I'm glad you said that, but I'm also going to add, your conspiracy theories don't do shit for the pandemic. Okay, shut the fuck up with your
doctors. A lot of conspiracy theories, they add to the anxiety, they add to the stress,
it does what for us? It does what for us? Make us more scared. Now, what I do want to point out, as I was watching a video on The Root, the publication, the website, whatever. Mm-hmm, they were talking about how it is harder for Black people to really trust science and the government, because we have a history of, medical people, they have a history of being dishonest with us. I get that. I mean, Tuskegee Institute, all that. I mean, Airman, I'm sorry, all that stuff. We get it. I get it. But you making up fact lists, I saw this on YouTube and they said, who said that? What degree does he have? Who does he?
What accredited source are you getting this
sharing this shit from abc123z.net? Who the fuck is this bitch that submitted this article? Like, your opinions, your conspiracy theories does nothing but add to mass hysteria.
It's fear mongering at its worst.
So you just better off shutting up. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
Hold on.
That was a heavy one.
Was it?
It was.
It's heavy as my
okay, did any of you guys see the house party last night in Chicago during this time? Wall-to-wall people.
Wait, what happened?
There was a big house party.
There was a big house party in Chicago, wall-to-wall people. What are your thoughts on that?
First of all, my people from Chicago.
Your hometown is crazy.
Okay.
What type of nigger shit is this?
Chicago.
Let me tell you something. I lived in Chicago for a little bit, and I have been to 2 house parties there. And I'll say, I understand why they were there.
They be lit. But let me just say, like, if y'all don't stay your Black asses in the house.
Chicago.
It's going to be there when all this is over. Just sit tight.
I think we need to contact that Chicago mayor.
I think that is some of the things that's wrong with our people. They just don't know when to sit still with certain things. They want to like test the water. They don't even know how to swim, but they're gonna go to the deep end and see what happens and see, how it goes. That's the sad part about it.
And shit really don't get real. Shit don't get real until you start coughing. Until you start.
I mean, I've been speaking about this on these lives. We all know you could have a regular little cough, you could have allergy, anything. You do that now, it shuts down the whole room. Everybody's looking at you like you have the bubonic plague. So I mean,
I know
it's crazy because even me, I was in the supermarket and I mean I do all the precautions, have the mask on all the time. I'm doing and I'm holding in a cough that I want to let out because I don't want to be that one.
No.
And but I also was in the supermarket the other day and there was these older Caucasian people. And they was just coughing up a storm, and I was very upset. Like,
God! Over your goddamn mouth.
Even though pretty much everywhere now over here, and we have thank God, a low amount of cases. Everywhere you go now here, I think that the way they've handled here is pretty good. Is everybody has to have a face mask when you go out and go in places. So
yes,
that's a good thing.
I'm not gonna lie. I was telling my friends, earlier, it's scary because today I went to work and I found out about somebody literally dropping dead in the lobby. We don't know why he died, but just dropped dead in the lobby. And so, given everything that's going on, of course, everybody's like, "Bitch, I'm not going up in here. That whole building got corona." Like, but shit is real, and I really need y'all to take it seriously. Don't wait to the issue to pop up on you for you to take it seriously.
See, but I think this speaks to a larger, a deeper issue too. This sort of like weird monolithic way of thinking amongst Black people has really been to our detriment, because right now nobody has any empathy for anyone, and it's really become very individualistic. Like, if it ain't happening to me and mine,
then it's
I
not
don't
real.
give a fuck about it.
Yep.
I don't know.
I mean, let's be honest, a lot of
here.
people don't really feel something until it hits close to home.
Exactly. Like, I don't even know how we got here. I really don't. There's a lack of empathy. There's a lack of knowledge. There's a lack of wanting to seek knowledge. There's a lack of even wanting to be intelligent.
It's exhausting.
You know what I mean? There's this just like blind sweeping, if a group of people say this is what it is, then I'm gonna go with this group of people without challenging anyone, without thinking critically, without doing any of that.
Research.
No. It's detrimental to us, and I keep watching it happen. It's happening not just with the virus, but when different things come up, especially things that are already detrimental to the Black community. It's like this wave of thinking, and people are under a haze, and they don't want to get the correct information. It's like they love being ignorant and dumb.
And they decide for themselves what they want to believe in.
Okay, guys. So, next topic. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Young man, I believe his name was Isaiah Wilson. And because of the coronavirus, the draft picks that they do, they've been doing it obviously virtual too. And this young man, he got picked, I believe, to go to the Tennessee Titans. I believe, if I'm wrong, guys, let me know. And his girlfriend, who happens to be Caucasian, was hugging him and leaning on him, and his mother, tried to nudge her away so he can have his moment, living that, and she didn't want to move, so she basically snatched her up. And it kind of caused a storm. I also watched, it caused a big storm. I also watched Funky Geneva. Shout out to Funky Geneva's channel. It was funny because Funky Geneva was basically saying, and following from all the comments, that if this Caucasian girl is going to marry this man and make it into a Black family, she better know the pecking order, that mom comes first, and they're not having that shit. So, how do you guys feel about that? What do you think? Were you upset with your mother? Do you understand where the mother was coming from? Do you think the girlfriend was doing too much? What do y'all think? Everybody's on here. What do you think about it?
So the guy's Black, basically, right?
Yes.
Okay, and the girlfriend is white.
Correct. What's his name?
Isaiah Wilson.
Okay.
I don't think that we can address this without talking about history, and why the mother will be distrusting of that young white woman to begin with. I'm not completely against her. I'm not completely against her wanting her son to have his own moment, shine on his own for what he worked hard for, without her being in the limelight. I'm not completely against that. What I do want to say is that on a general level, outside of race, is that it kind of ain't necessarily mom over somebody I love. It's not. If you with somebody you love, it's kind of like, do you love them or not? You can't really prioritize family over the person that you sleep, eat, breathe, pray and marry, spend the rest of your life with. I don't know how deep their relationship is. If she's just the girlfriend that he just met, she wouldn't even have been invited.
She shouldn't even be on TV. I just watched the video. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. You know, I'm all about the pecking order and black mothers and all that shit. But this video is awkward.
Was she harsh with it?
I mean, she
yanked her ass up.
She grabbed her, and then it was a first attempt.
Yanked her
and
ass.
It wasn't successful, so she got her up again. Girl, it's awkward.
That wasn't her place, though. That was not her place.
I don't think it was either.
Well, let's get into these comments. I want to get into these comments right here, and want to which kind of piggyback this comment from Tessa Turner kind of piggybacked off a lot of the comments that I've read. The biggest thing I took from that is a lot of these black men have white girlfriends before they joined the NFL. It's almost like the white women are in the football player starter pack.
Okay.
That's
well, let's
go ahead,
Lindsay. But we have to take a look at the pathology. What was perpetuated in that home? Why wouldn't he want to bring home someone that looks like his mama or his auntie? See, these black women, first of all, y'all getting too invested in what these black men want to do. My only issue with black men and their picking others is I don't like that they don't have a respect or they don't acknowledge how legacy in the black community is important. Creating legacy. It not only aids in building generational wealth, but that's how you would build up your community, creating legacy, black families. But everybody is interested in creating interracial children that are somehow black identified and then shoving it down everybody's, throat how black they are. Mm-hmm. I don't care what black men do, their preference for partners, and I think black women get too caught up in that. But as for the mother, first of all, that is his mate. That is someone that girl is pregnant and they already have a child together. That is the woman he is with.
So
don't yank me out of no frame.
So playing devil's advocate.
Don't yank me out of no frame with my man that I fuck every night.
Yeah, I mean, she just happens to be white.
So let's play from another perspective. We don't know how long that him and this girl been together. Totally can get what you're saying. That's his girlfriend. So let's play another thing. As the mom, what if she has been a staunch supporter of her son? Always, this is a lifelong dream of his, and she has sacrificed to help him do that. As we know, a lot of these athlete moms and stage moms, they put a lot into it, and they've been there from the beginning. They've been there for a lot of the yays, a lot of the nays, and not even the mother trying to sit there and get in that moment, but just wanting the hard work that her child.
That is a grown ass man, and it ain't her fucking place.
Exactly. If he didn't want her there, he could have stepped out of the frame. He had
simply
if
she
he
going
want
too
her
far.
There, he hugged her.
Do you think
he does not live? Do you think
some of these girls overstep their boundaries?
If I have two children with you, no, I am not.
So let me ask you a question, Lindsay. Do you feel do you feel like this is just piggybacking off what you guys are saying? Because I was reading a lot of the comments from black women from Twitter and reading it on other things. Do you feel like a lot of times black guys do automatically pick these white girls because black women are too strong for them, too aggressive for them?
No, they hate themselves.
Boom.
They hate their fucking selves.
So kind of elaborate on that right there.
What's to elaborate? They
okay,
hate
go ahead.
themselves. They don't want to see themselves reflected. They actually have an inherent, see, you have to think about what's been perpetuated in the house.
Mm-hmm.
These Black women don't want to take the blame for some of that. If your son is constantly and consistently bringing home women that don't look like you, or there's something going on in the language in your house that has created something, or there's a disconnect somewhere, there's a self-hatred somewhere lingering. Now, we can talk about preference all day. Some people have preferences, I get that. But at the alarming rate where Black men have preferences that somehow lead to them denigrating Black women, that's where I have an issue. I don't care about your preference.
Oh, in particularly
Black women out of
dark-skinned Black women.
Phenotypical Black women, dark-skinned women,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. And now it's even light-skinned women because they ain't even good enough nowadays.
Yep.
It's either Latinas or white.
Now they want the white women that gives Black attributes. The closest thing to Black without being Black.
And you have to, and Black women in these households that lead these households, sometimes you got to take a look in the mirror yourself. What are you perpetuating? What have you told your child? See, there's a lot of things that aren't discussed involving Black men that nobody wants to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about why Black men need to have waves in their Caesars so bad. That's an extension of colorism. That's an extension of innate self-hatred. No one wants to talk about that. They only want to talk about dark.
I'm gonna need you now. That one right there, I'm gonna need you to elaborate on that one.
It's
just like Black women are lambasted for getting perms, weaves, whatever. No one talks about Black men coaxing that hair into waves if they don't have the hair tight.
Going out of their way to brush every night with that do-rag to make
Nobody talks about it because Black men always get a pass. Black women always bear the brunt of all these issues. All the issues, Black women bear the brunt of it. Nobody talks about these things. And nobody also talks about why these men consistently choose women who not only most of the time nowadays, they have the Black woman shape, but they ain't Black. It's not in a Black package.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Once again, I don't care about your preference as long as you're not denigrating Black women. But I don't know. Somehow we always get in the conversation, and it's always negative.
Do you feel like a lot of these Black men that do date outside of their race, they do denigrate Black women, or they have a reason? Because I've heard Black men say that, they can't deal with a Black woman because it's too much, they too on it, they too stressful. I've heard men say that, saying that it's easier dating outside of their race.
To paint that picture of every Black woman in the universe is fucking dangerous to me. Ain't every Black woman is not the same, ain't all angry, ain't all aggressive. That's the problem right there, that you think all Black women are the same. And there are plenty of white women that can be whoever they want to be. And they still will not be painted as one type of white woman.
But let's talk about it though. A lot of gay people have issues with Black women.
Yes, we do.
We did
those are for different reasons.
Okay, we'll get to that. Let me just answer some of these people because you guys went into a lot of things. Hello, Tyrone. How are you? Our people need to stop worshiping white people, Afro Latinos too, even though you think you're something else.
Let's not
That's
go
a whole.
That's a whole nother.
Leave Cardi B. Leave Cardi B out of it.
1985 said majority of the draft players had Caucasian or foreign girlfriends already. A few of them had kids, so they are ahead of the ritual. Love Lindsay and the facts.
I have to add.
Ryan said this reminds him of the new Netflix show Black as Fuck. Let's not get to that yet.
Not interested.
I have
Yeah, I
something to
gave
say
it a
about
I
that.
gave it a chance. I gave it a chance.
Son said it stems from slavery. We've been conditioned to see everything.
It always stems from slavery.
We've been conditioned to see the everything through the eyes of whites. Also, we don't learn from our historical relationship with them. We have a learning disability. We have an inferiority complex. Yada yada.
That too.
This show is hot tonight. Many parallels. These type of Black men have an unreal worldview. You are right, Lindsay. Lindsay is hello, Kiko. Is beyond the household. Unfortunately, it stemmed in our race from slavery and colonialism.
Yes.
I see both sides said most Black athletes end up at white high schools because the chances for pro ball and getting scouted is higher.
There's that.
White girls are 95%. I have a ratio for dating them.
And I think that Black men create an image of what success and what climbing the ladder looks like for them.
Anybody on my panel, I don't play that. You're not going to call them names or you'll be muted. I don't play that shit. You can have your opinions and still be respectful. This is a great point. They see both sides. Brian said the Willie Lynch letter.
Yeah.
The Willie Lynch theory.
Let's talk about that. Since how do you guys feel about it? Why do you feel a lot of gay men have issues with Black women?
Well, there's always a complicated relationship between, and particularly I can speak for Black gay men and Black gay women. There's a whole show that we did about
it's called Blisters. Y'all need to check it out.
What season? What episode is that on?
That's season 2.
That's season 2. It's called Blisters because I wasn't ready for it in season 1.
So, guys, so give a little bit of history on that.
So basically, it all starts with misogyny and homophobia, and how you can be an oppressor and someone oppressed at the same fucking time at the bottom of the totem pole. Right. I think that's where you got to start, and I think that some gay men don't realize that just because they're gay, that they can be misogynistic, and just because you're a Black cis woman and you experience so many layers of oppression, that does not mean that you can't be homophobic. Okay, and so what's complicated about it is that, speaking for myself again, and many, not all Black gay men, but many of the ones I know, Black women are usually the first ones that, our friends, our mothers, our aunties, the one that was the first to be open with us, that allowed us to be ourselves, and also were our idols for some of us.
Right.
And so these women that we celebrated and love, and even love in art and entertainment, that we look up to, at the same time can be homophobic as fuck and don't really fuck with us like they say that they do. It creates a complicated relationship. The same person that allowed me to almost become who I am, create a safe space for me, can also be the same person that takes me down, that knocks down my manhood.
And secretly hates you.
Perpetuate DL culture, think that you're going to hell, all these layers. And for the same thing with Black women and looking at, gay men, it's like, okay, finally there's a man that celebrates me in a way that is a little bit more, not as sexualized as cis heterosexual men, but at the same time they put these standards on how womanly and feminine they have to be, how they have to look.
I'd like to step in, especially on that, because there's a sexual connotation there. Black women, Black cishet women, I am one of them, so I know. Passive homophobia is their game, and that's how they go along to get along. I can only speak for myself. Because of the work that I do in this community, because of the people that I love in this community, this is not a game for me. There are so many things I had to unlearn. There are so many things that I realized that I was putting into the air that was actually hurting, in a sense, the people that I love. See, for Black cishet women, we're always going to start with the sexual thing. There's an inherent fear of HIV and AIDS. We always have to start there. No matter who's doing our makeup, no matter who's doing the hair, there's a sexual threat posed with Black men.
I mean, most of the time when they come, that's the first thing that's thrown out there.
Absolutely.
That's a known thing.
And Black women like to taunt Black gay men, especially their friends, the ones they claim they love, with, just subtle things. There's still a repulsion in them when it comes to gay male sex. There's still a visual repulsion. I see it in women. I check girls all the time. Now, I have to say, I'm in the minority. Because I'm so fully immersed in the community, I can't necessarily judge the next woman that isn't. You're into what you're into. Like, I don't see two men making love as nasty or anything like that. I write about that. I want gay male intimacy to be normalized. That's why the work that I do on Triangle, the work that we do on Triangle is so important. It's so important that I'm doing it, because just like we say, well, white people got to tell other white people what's wrong with them. I feel like as a cishet Black woman, I got to tell other Black women what the fuck is wrong with y'all. And y'all get away with a lot of shit. Black gay men, unfortunately, they love their moms, they love their aunties, they love their friends. Sometimes they don't want to correct them. But I urge you, anybody who is looking at this right now and hears me, I urge you, anytime you feel unsafe, anytime you feel like your masculinity is being dismissed, you have every right. I don't care who it is, your mama, your auntie, I don't care who it is. You have every right to challenge them on that and correct them. You might get a surprise. If they love you, they will do what it takes to not hurt you. And I mean that.
Period.
And that works on both sides for gay men as it relates to women.
Gay men are not accessories either, girl.
We have a responsibility for my peers. It's a certain way that you talk about Black women that's not going to fly by me. I mean, I have dated people that have said things about women that it created a lot of friction in my relationship. I'm like, I can't be with somebody who fucking thinks like that. Like, that don't sit well with me. As a feminist, that does not sit well with me. And I think when you create a space and a boundary with people that shit don't fly, if they really love you, they would do better and work on their way of thinking and educate themselves.
That's it. That's it. That's all.
Yeah.
When it comes to
the
people I love,
gives people a reason sometimes to want to do better.
When it comes to the people I love, there's nothing I won't do. There is nothing I will not do. And if you got to check me, then so be it.
Yep.
This is life or death for trans women. This type of shit is life or death for gay men. It's not to be played with. They're not jokes. They're not the butt of jokes. Their masculinity should not be dismissed. Trans women and their experiences and their womanhood should not be dismissed.
Ever.
Black women be getting away with a lot of shit. It's not cool. And I see it every day. I've had so many arguments with people. Caesar, I know somebody personally. I know a couple of people that know Sanaya and Kelly. And I don't fuck with those two people because they kept misgendering them in our conversation. I don't have time for it. I don't think the shit is cute.
Right.
How do you feel, Marcus?
I think that people do shit on purpose. I happen to be one of the people in the world that see people for who they are, and I try to meet them there. I think I can say that about Black women too. I have a love-hate relationship with them. I can admit it though. I don't hate women, but I see the things that they do, and I see the things that Black men do. And when those things occur, I say, well, There's some more nigga shit. There's some more nigga bitch shit. But I don't judge everyone exactly the same. And it's very important. I don't judge everyone the same. And I see, and there are Black women in my life that try to do the work, have done the work over the years, and a lot of them are still in my life. And the ones that haven't are not. And I think that's because you can silently decide to disconnect from someone who you feel like is disrespecting your lifestyle, the way you live. I hold everybody accountable. So, but I do run into gay people that hate Black women, Black straight cisgendered men that hate Black women. I mean, it's actually exhausting. But I think getting to the root of why helps you to see them in a new light. And then if you do a little research about their life, then you can understand where they're coming from. So to me, this is all.
Some of these motherfuckers, I ain't got time to be researching your backstory.
I have no time.
I'm talking about Black women.
I know what you're talking about, but I'm just saying.
I have no time.
Some of these motherfuckers, I'd be like, you think like that? Okay, I ain't got time for you.
No,
like you have to be in a particular place in my life for me to even care.
You want to be able to devote that much to find out why are you like this and why do you feel like this?
No, I'm not talking about that nigga. I'm talking about people doing doing the research of why they have something against Black women. They need to do research on Black women, the history and their history as to why they talk to Black women, talk to them and see why they don't do the work. So to me, it just continues and it just continues. And I think that the relationship between Black men and Black women is fucked, period.
Can I stand also on holding gay men accountable in our job too? Y'all, we need to be careful with how we pick apart women. They are not your objects. They don't live to be your little toys and Barbie dolls, your models, your fashionistas. You need to be very fucking careful about how you address cis and trans women on how they have to present themselves for you and your satisfaction.
Yeah.
Okay? That is misogynistic. And just because you're gay does not exclude that fact. You are still a fucking man at the end of the day. Okay?
Right.
It's true.
A cis man.
So don't be saying that about those patty melts that women wear in their feet when their fucking feet hurt.
Not a patty melt though.
She got on a patty melt. She got on a patty melt.
Let's move along. Patty melt.
That was definitely. Somebody said this baggage is heavy, and to be on, Cherokee said to be honest, it's got to be hard out here for Black women as well. Of course, it's hard for everybody. How about that?
It is hard out here, but I get it.
Klowski said y'all got me over here quivering.
Ooh.
Women will fuck with you for the network and the glam on the vocabulary to level up. It's a lot. Okay, let's move on. So we'll move on to a little TV. For those out there, I don't know if you guys watched the show Insecure by Issa Rae. It's been back and we're into the third episode of season 4. Season 4, right, guys?
I think so.
Anybody been watching Insecure at all? Have y'all watched it?
I have been. I just told Emery to catch up. He needs, especially with this episode that just happened, it's time to catch up.
Okay, don't reveal too much. Don't reveal too much.
But yeah, without divulging, put it out there. So Issa, and I believe the girl's name is Condola. Condola's currently dating. See what?
Pendarvis.
Condola Pendarvis.
Shut up. Shut up.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're definitely gonna get to that. That's gonna be my next thing. So currently, she's dating Lawrence Condola, and as we all know, Issa used to date Lawrence, but Issa and Condola, they've kind of been organizing this block party, and they actually have become friends, and they kind of like to break the ice. After finding out that they dated Lawrence, they kind of like made a joke and kind of talked about Lawrence to each other about some of his little quirks or whatever it is. How do you guys feel about, could the person that you're now dating, could they be friends with your ex? Like how would you deal with that? Because Lawrence basically was not feeling being a topic of their conversation. How do you feel about that?
He has every right to feel that way. Especially, I think, given the history that this is an ex-girlfriend that cheated on him.
She made a very crazy statement to her brother that I actually loved and I understood. It was very real. She said that she kind of feel like, she was with Lawrence for 5 years, and she was very patient with him, supported him, dealt with a lot of shit.
He wasn't shit.
It's not black and white because he was.
And she feel like the nigga that he was then was the nigga with potential. Different. Was a nigga with potential. And the nigga that he is now
is the full actualized.
And she kind of feel like
he was waiting for.
And she feel like she's kind of reaping, as her words were, reaping off the benefits of her work. So.
And and this has been a topic on social media before. Sometimes people date the nigga that you built. And this is why we got to be careful with investing in building motherfuckers. Because you got to be careful with building motherfuckers because you're going to build them for somebody else.
I mean, don't we all kind of build somebody for someone else in a way?
You have to draw the line somewhere.
Whether bad or good, meaning that whether it was a life.
Because here's my point though. Sometimes you want to make a person that you're dating into who you want them to be for you. And sometimes you just got to date people where they are and just accept it for what it is.
Absolutely.
Because you're investing into this person and trying to make them into something. And they might never get there. And so after they go through heartbreak, that ain't your job. That's really not your job.
I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe in build up or I
don't like Build-A-Bears either.
People who
Build-A-Bear.
So this is why people can't find love, because they are so focused on what's not right about somebody who should just be there to make them happy. I don't get people in the way that they process genuine kindness and relationships.
You're calling from another thing, Emery?
Yeah, that's me. My other phone about to die.
And
calling from the back phone.
Damn, what were we talking about? Oh, the X thing.
Right.
I don't play that shit. My exes and my friends and my new boo and all that, I'm not into that shit. It's not gonna mix. If you friends with her, if you remain friends with, if you knew me first and you friends with her after we not together no more, don't be surprised when I don't come around as much, and don't question me as to why I don't. You knew me first, and you shouldn't be dealing with the bitch that I used to date anymore. You're a grown ass person, you can do what you want to do, but don't address me when you don't see me as much. Because to me, there's 350 million people in the world. Why the fuck you gotta be dealing with my ex, bitch? You think I want to see that motherfucker or hear about that motherfucker? I may not be ready to hear about that shit. And you still, if y'all was already friends before,
right?
Then I feel different. But to me, if I'm the one that brought you together, I don't approve. And that's
quality
selfish.
Of your new device, Emery, is a little bit different than the other quality.
Oh.
Shade.
I see both sides said, but don't we push and motivate the ones that we love?
This is true.
Do we do what?
Don't we push and motivate the ones that we love?
It's pushing and motivating, and then there's building. Like,
yes.
And,
I'm not building you. If y'all recall, Lawrence was sleeping in his fucking drawers when Issa would come home from work. He wasn't doing shit. He was completely unmotivated. He was doing nothing.
He was a nothingness ass nigga. And she dealt with that for what, 5 years?
5 years.
And so at what point in time did you say to yourself, well, this is who he is?
Hello.
So
that's
now
a half a decade.
I think that because we're constantly trying to, when you see somebody with the potential, you constantly, and you know that they have a lot of potential, and you want to see it work. I really do feel like you want to see it work. You want to see the fruits of your labor. When I say labor, the work you put in and the hope you put in and the faith you put in and the years you put in. You want to see something come out of it because you do not want your time to be wasted. That's what
that is 1,825 fucking days that I don't have. And for those who need the math, that is 365 times 5. That is 5 years. We ain't got time. Think about how long that is. I'm not about to be doing this with you.
Well, everybody has to individually think about what their threshold is for, you know, dealing with a person, with a mate with potential.
It's their responsibility to catch up to them. If somebody's moving more ahead than the other one, then the one that's not catching up to them in an emotional way, in a financial way, or whatever it's a relationship. You're supposed to catch up to each other. If somebody's loving you better than you're loving them, you need to catch up to them. If somebody's advancing in their career and you're not seeing that and doing the same thing, don't be surprised when you lose them. And
yes,
and you help them to become the better person that they are. To me, in relationships, you need to be noticing that, and you need to make adjustments as you go. Sorry.
And that's why that is why communication is important, because y'all started at one point and then y'all evolve into something else. So at all given times, you got to communicate about what's important to you, what you need.
You have to determine your threshold. You do.
It is important for you, for your partner to be where you are, to advance also in their career to you, because there are people out here, and I do not want to diminish their relationships. There are people that are dating people that are unemployed. And it's not important for their partner to be employed. And that is okay.
Yeah.
But if it is a standard for you, I need my partner to be just as motivated and driven. Okay, you need to communicate that then. And you also need to set a deadline, because when people don't realize that there's a deadline to get better, they're going to take their fucking time.
It's true. It is true.
And if we don't know, procrastination is a very strong demon in all relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, can you be friends with your ex? Can you be friends with your ex?
Yes.
You can.
I feel so too.
You can.
But I won't.
You are capable.
You can.
You're capable. You may do it. You may do it.
Possible, but for me, it's not probable.
It's not practical. It's not probable. Well, it depends.
It's not happening.
It depends. It's not black and white. So, in my opinion,
it's more successful.
If it depends on.
With time apart, it helps.
You absolutely need time apart. If y'all have a certain amount, and when I say time apart, I do not mean 3 months. I do not mean 6.
Right. And not 9.
Let's try a couple of years.
Yeah, a couple of years.
But also, I mean, because what if y'all were dating and it wasn't really that serious to you, ever? Then the time really might not be needed, because y'all never really took each other seriously. But if after going through a serious relationship, you need time to transition into that period of, I'm not a lover anymore, I am a friend. And that doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen in a few months.
Right.
Because that motherfucker is going to still be expecting things of you, and y'all ain't really set a boundary, like paying phone bills and taking each other out to eat.
Yeah, and living together and
living together.
It gets
when you
so
have
messy.
That blurred line of what y'all doing, listen, go ahead, be friend. But if y'all still have them blurred lines,
you're still in a relationship.
Y'all still in a relationship. And
if you have those blurred lines, you're still in a relationship.
Every time you try to date somebody new, it's always going to be a motherfucker problem and to your detriment. Because how you going to explain their relationship to somebody else?
There's so many exes that remain tethered together for a myriad of reasons, and none of which are good.
None of which are good.
To you. To you.
To you. Thank you. All right. So next thing, you guys always talk about in your show. I always listen, but I haven't watched Drag Race since season 3. My child, Kyrie, has been on me, and I've been during the quarantine. I started watching Drag Race. What season is this?
Season 12.
Season 12. I've been watching it for like the last 4 or 5 weeks. What do you guys feel about the state of the show? I have opinions, but I'm still getting back into the show. What do you guys feel about it? And does everybody on here watch it?
Yeah.
Jada Essence Hall. That's how I feel about it.
I think it's good. You can start us. Take us away, Lyrical Mar.
Take us away.
I mean, this cast of girls, I like them. I like them. Jada Essence Hall is my favorite, and Gigi is my favorite. It's an interesting season because, to me, some of them are strong and then they get weak, and some are weak and then get strong. So it's interesting to see every week how they
play the game,
but
perform.
All I can say is every time I see the girls, I always pick the winner, and I always pick who I like, and I just follow them on their journey. I appreciate every girl, but Jada Essence Hall is the
Somebody
girl.
had feedback on. Somebody has audio on something going on right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had the volume on my other phone on. My bad.
What do y'all? Okay, so let's name. Okay, so Gigi. What do you like? What do y'all like about Gigi?
Gigi is a fashionista. She reminds me of like Aquaria and Blair St. Clair, like mixed in one.
Kinda.
It's just something like that. She's a Sagittarius. I just like her energy. She's funny. She can do fashion. She can do comedy. She can. Well, she can't really.
She's got a massive
she can
ego
sell
too.
it.
She's got a massive ego.
She's a Sagittarian.
It go hand in hand. They go hand in hand.
What do y'all feel about the chick that just went home, Widow?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking. Go ahead.
I think she did that to herself.
She did that to herself. She had potential to go all the way, but that makeup was a booger.
It was horrible.
I could not deal with that fucking makeup. And some of her fashion choices was like she was looking through a slave catalog. Or
really, those swirling heels? I'm like,
Is that a coon? Is that one of them motherfucking monkeys from back?
No.
Then she's dressed as a butler like 2 times. I'm like, okay, bitch, I'm not dealing with you.
Oh yeah,
your fashion choices are questionable.
What did y'all think? What do y'all think about Heidi?
Another booger with the makeup. But let me say something. She's funny and she's
talented.
She's a key.
And she dances down.
She's a key.
She's a key. That voice is very horrible. It's very Michelet. It's very Michelet in the voice.
She's a key. She's a cackle. I do feel like
the bitch didn't know it's not.
The first week I watched it, I guess it was the stand. I don't know which one it was. But she should have done Phaedra. I don't know why she didn't do.
Yeah.
She should have done
Phaedra.
She didn't watch the show. She didn't watch.
She should have learned because I think that she would have fucked that up.
She would
have also.
Yeah.
The greatest of all time.
All she would have had to say is everybody knows. That's all she would have had to say.
With a little whistle.
Yeah.
Everybody
knows.
Yeah. I think she's definitely adorable, but
she'll be going home in 2 weeks.
My favorite is Gigi.
My favorite is Gigi, but also Jada.
I'm gonna be honest, I think her drag is the most pulled. I think her drag is the most effective, but I think that she also too pulled.
Yeah, it is.
Pulled. I think that she kind of, from what I've seen, that she kind of falls back on that, and it's more than just what I remember. It's more than just that in being to win this shit.
Yeah,
she needs to be a drag queen and wear some fucking big hair.
She needs to turn it up a notch, like about 30%. Like
I want to see some drag.
When I think of drag, though, Sherry and Jada are drag queens.
The chick from Texas, to me, she's like I don't want to say she's a dark horse because she got it, but I think that she's good. I think that she's
Who?
I think you're talking about Jada.
Jada.
No, Jada's not fun. You're talking about the skinny black girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jada Essence Hall.
I like
she
Jada
is drag. Like her makeup, her hair. I mean, that is classic drag, and I love everything
and
about it.
She's so cunt. Like, I love it.
Like, yes, the hair, big hair.
That
Sherry
bitch,
is also
Britta,
a classic drag queen.
Britta, the one like a shark or something. I didn't understand that. The one from the one with the mullet irritates the hell out of me.
Crystal Method.
Crystal.
Not at
Crystal
all.
Method.
It's not really. It doesn't really give me. It gives me. It doesn't. I don't want to say joke drags, but it just gives me more like.
It's supposed to be campy, comedic, but I honestly don't think she knows who she is, and that's a turn off.
Right. I don't think she really knows her identity yet.
That chick the chick that just got into battled Widow. I thought she was whack, but she deserved to win over Widow for the
She did. She ate her lip sync over Widow.
She got in the character, but she's whack. She's boring to me.
That's Jackie Cox.
Jackie Cox. And I loved Jackie in the beginning, and I thought she was gonna be another type of way. And no, she's
getting better within the last 2 weeks, though.
Yes.
I guess the one Sherry Pie don't matter because she's off the show. So I mean, who else is really? I don't know who else is on it. Who I missed?
No, that's it. Heidi, Sherry, Gigi, Jada, Jackie Cox, Crystal Method.
Yeah,
that's left.
So who's all your prediction? Who's going to prediction that's going to win?
Gigi's going to win, but the top three, without a shadow of a doubt, is Jada, Gigi, and Sherry. But Sherry is disqualified. So basically,
right. So how are they going? How do you think they're going to? How do they do that if she's already disqualified?
Well, the others don't even really stand a chance anyway. So let's tell you the truth. So it's between Gigi and Jada.
Yeah.
Unless they bring somebody back, right? I don't know.
And if Jada takes it, I will literally be happy because that is classic drag.
I want Jada to take it.
And she's funny and beautiful. I want Jada to take it, but when I look at the versatility... Well, no, Jada is versatile as well. She's versatile as well. She's won a comedy challenge. She's looked good in fashion challenges. So let me take back my statement.
Okay. Guys, we're taking questions. If you guys have questions on here for this beautiful cast of Hard to Swallow, make sure you go and subscribe. They're on every platform. Check out their podcast. Make sure you guys will subscribe. If you have questions, here's your chance to ask them, guys. Let me hear what you have.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Emery, what is your type that you look for in a man?
You know,
these bitches, they shot her teeth.
Baby, get into it.
Should I tell the truth?
And shame the devil.
Please don't.
Okay.
Tell
I'm
the truth.
Be honest. I think beauty starts with the self. And with that in mind, I do kind of have a thing for people that look like me. However, it's not necessarily looking like me. There are three primary things that I do look for. I love a nice smile. Attributes. I love a nice smile. I love nice skin. And I love nice eyes. And when I say nice eyes, that doesn't mean have to be a color, but like a shine or a bedroom eye. You know, like sell me something. Look into my soul.
Fuck me. Eyes.
Yeah, fuck me with your eyes. I've dated all types of body types. I've dated all types of heights. All types of men on the feminine and masculine spectrum. So again, those are the three kind of main things. I can't deal with bumpy skin. I'm sorry, and I don't have the time to invest into a regimen for you. But I'm just telling you what I'm attracted to.
Damn.
Are you taking all questions, Emery?
Sure.
Uh-oh.
But before I go there, that's just on carnal level, like physically. Outside of that, like I need people that are level-headed, that into socially conscious people that are critically thinking. Can't date anybody that is homophobic, hate themselves, anti-black, or misogynistic. Like that don't sit well with me no more.
Shade.
No more.
No more.
D Watch asked Emery on Super Chat as what happened. I don't want to read this whole thing.
No, go ahead. It's fine.
What happened with your engagement? I was really rooting for you guys, and are you guys currently friends?
They said what happened to it?
Yes.
And are you currently friends?
No. It ended in no.
He's had media training.
Satisfied?
I answered the question. And yeah, I mean, I think that, and I do want to elaborate just a bit on that. There is no requirement for you to be the good guy. People can separate and perfectly decide for themselves if you want to be with somebody and deal with them, or if you do not. And it's perfectly your choice. It doesn't make you an asshole. For me, I decided not.
Emery and Marcus, are you guys related in some way? You guys literally like the older and younger.
Me and Emery are basically related, but not by blood.
Yes, that is family.
How did you guys meet? How did you guys meet?
You gonna?
Oh wow,
Marcus.
We met through somebody who's unfortunately deceased in Chicago.
Yes,
his name was Fendi. And
well, no, she transitioned. So she
transitioned.
Her Paige Ifisu.
Yes, and so he just felt like we should meet, and when I met Emery, I instantly knew why. That's the way it was, as the black woman say on the YouTube channel. That's the way it was.
The year Sicily 2000, 2008.
8.
We technically met beginning of December of 2008 because I remember that because it was around what's his name's birthday.
Oh yeah, I moved there in December 2008. I moved to Chicago.
And then I was still in high school, and then I was invited to the house by Paige before she transitioned, and she was like, I'm going to take you out on a date, and I wasn't out of the closet at this time, so I mean, somebody walking up to me for my number, I was like, oh my god, a man, oh, my number,
right.
And so this is before I was even on BCC Live and all that good stuff. And so I came over the house and I could not believe what I like, okay, we're gonna go out. I came over to his mother's house and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was seeing these tradie men that I thought at the time wearing fucking heels at the bogan in the house and fishnets and shit. I'm like, what in the motherfucking type of, it was very much that. And then I saw this woman came out in a red robe, and I was like, who is this like tall woman? And then Paige at the time whispered in my ear, that's a drag queen. I said, a drag queen.
Are you talking about Mina?
I'm talking about the legendary Mina Ifisu from the Midwest.
Yes.
And then Marcus came in, and I was like, oh, that's like we looked. I had an interest in him. He was interesting. He was intriguing, and then we didn't connect necessarily that day, but then we end up connecting later after the fact. And Marcus technically brought me to Ballroom officially.
So he became your mentor from the beginning.
Absolutely, and then I started becoming more comfortable with just who I was as a person. I mean, I felt like he was super confident in who he was, walking the streets in Chicago, not giving a fuck what people thought, and that energy maintained in every room that he was. And I was like,
So Mama. So Marcus, you taking that? How was it you taking that role as his mentor, parent, quote unquote, How was that? How did you take that serious always, or did it just develop into that?
It's interesting. We wanted to do a show on this about gay family, but I have a good example. I have a gay mother and a gay grandmother. So this is like generations of people like kind of guiding, younger gay youth. And so, in that moment, you just know, and especially when you have the relationship, the chemistry right away, and you don't want to see them make mistakes that you made, and
and you
what other people,
you become super protective.
You just become protective. You want them to make their own decisions, but at the same time, you have to let them know what they're up against because the ballroom scene can take people out.
Yeah.
And so I always just tell Emery, like, don't tell nobody that I brought you to the scene, girl, because they're gonna look at me like, girl, like you brought, but I say that in a loving way, because I wanted him to do it because he wanted to do it. I know he got mugged. And I know he gonna win the 5,000. But that don't mean I can say, bitch, you need to walk this 5,000, because it wouldn't have been authentic. So I think that his love from ballroom needed to come naturally, and I'm glad that we were able to just remain close in the scene. And
I wasn't forced to do anything I didn't want to do. Like, genuinely, when I remember hearing from Marcus, and I was excited because I had lost that connection and contact with Paige at the time. And I was like, oh, damn, that was something I was interested in, and I lost it. So it came at the right time, and you never really forced me, do you want to walk this ball, girl? It was very much like that. I was never forced to do anything I didn't want to do. I was like, but I will say that I did want the people that, introduced me to the scene to be proud of me and like to make them happy. So I did find myself saying yes to things that, like, okay, if you want me there, sure, I'll do it. But
right.
When I started getting to like 2010 and 2011, after winning the 5 and, becoming 18, I realized like I had to make it my own. Like, what is it relationship that you have with the scene?
Right.
And it really became real when I went to college and like I was on my own, getting stuff ready by myself, and I eventually left the house at Ibisu and figuring things out.
Yeah.
That answers the question for the one that asked, is this your ex or isn't? No. Why gay community don't see straight women?
Why does gay community does what?
They don't see straight women. First of all, we got women's runway, we got women's performance, bitch. We got motherfucking women's face.
I'm gonna tell you what it is.
Okay.
The ballroom scene is a LGBTQ centrist. Well, no, that's not even true. Yes, it is that, but it's actually a Black trans women and a Black trans men and Black gay queer space. That is what it is at the beginning.
It really is.
The core.
And actually, trans women created this motherfucking thing. Black trans women created this space. But outside of that, the reason we are distrusting is because you are entering a safe space for us. And you have to be careful on how you insert yourselves in somebody else's safe space. That's like me as a gay man showing up at a Black woman's ladies' night and, trying to take over the room. You need to check yourself at the fucking door. It's not about you.
Why you kiki, Caesar?
Because I totally get what he's saying right there.
It is not for us. No, but for real, it is not for us. But that comes with, heterosexuals and their privilege.
The privilege to think that you can enter any space,
we can do
and it
anything.
can be about you, and
everything
belong.
Center ourselves. It's not for that. It really isn't.
You can go anywhere you fucking want to go, but this is our home, our space. We don't have many. And so that's why you got to be fucking careful. that is why it's that relationship that we have. And it's not that we don't love cis women. It's just that when you come into a safe space, you just have to be aware of your privilege at all times.
Let's be honest. Some of them be doing the most.
So Lindsay, as a cisgender straight woman, what's one thing you can't stand about gay people? And this is how you feel. It's some real shit. What's the one thing that you
do it?
I can't stand about gay people collectively?
Or ones that you interacted this period. Like, if you was going to make a general statement.
Okay. Well, I will say that. See, navigating gay spaces is interesting for me. I do feel that gay men, gay Black men in particularly, they break me down before they even say hello. And I understand that because it's a natural defense mechanism. I understand that, you know, a lot of times from childhood, there's certain trauma, there's certain triggers, and certain, you know, Black women represent different things to different people. So I'm always cautious. I'm also cautious around trans women as well. I don't ever want to dismiss their womanhood, but some of them are very antagonistic toward me. Even like without knowing.
Not to cut you off, but do you feel like you always have to like prove your authenticity with them, or like do you have to always like prove the fact that you are an ally or a supporter? You understand what I'm saying? Do you feel like that a lot? Like I
don't feel like I have to prove anything because I naturally just show up as myself.
Right.
And if you stick around long enough, you'll know what time it is with me. But that's if you stick around long enough. But I don't judge people for prejudging me. I don't like when they do. But that would be the thing that I don't like. That sometimes because I'm Black and I'm straight, they dismiss me as one of those women that do such and such and such, or they don't like me because I'm not like the beatest bitch in the room either. You know what I mean?
That's that misogynistic shit that I'm talking about, though.
Oh, I don't give a fuck about it. I get niggas anyway. It don't matter. Been getting niggas.
But you also got a man. She's been with the same man for a long time, guys.
Absolutely.
Work, Lindsay.
Well, I love that we guys did this show. I really want everyone, again, is on here tonight. Subscribe to Hard to Swallow podcast. Hard to Swallow on all platforms. And this is just a taste of what these guys give. So if you guys can all tell them how to follow you personally, they can also see in a little box, but can you vocally say how to follow you guys and leave them with a little, tidbit from you guys?
Oh, so you can follow me at Ain't I Emery, that's spelled Emery, on Instagram and Twitter. You can also follow the podcast at HTS_podcast on Instagram and Twitter. For those who would like to, if you follow both of those pages, you will see a Linktree link that will take you to every possible platform that the podcast is on.
Yeah.
Lindsay?
And I'm Lyric. Go ahead,
Mark.
Or just search. If you just want to go directly to the podcast link, just search Hard to Swallow podcast.
And before you continue, if they ever want to send questions to you guys, how can they do that?
Send it to me on Instagram. We already have that experience. People email me things all the time, and I addressed it on the show. I have one person now that just emailed me a topic, and I plan for that to be probably one of the topics for a future show.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Next, boom. How can they follow you guys?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram as Lyrical Mar, and I'm on Twitter more. If you're a Twitter person, that's my go-to. And subscribe, listen to the show, and please give us topic of the days, because honestly, a bitch be worn out about what to talk about. we don't want to get too deep. But yes, please reach out, because that's how we keep the show going.
Yeah.
Your comments and questions.
Oh, and me? Well, first, before we leave, I'd like to say thank you so much to Caesar for giving us this opportunity to hang out with you tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Love you. You know, we family. You can follow, I guess you could follow me. I'm an older doll, so I don't do all this social media crap, but I'm at, what am I? At Lynn's
Girl, but you've been
Wags.
getting better with it. You've been getting
It's
better.
at the bottom. It's at the bottom of your screen. It's
Lynn's _ Wags on Instagram. And I think I'm the same on Twitter. I don't know. I gotta see. But
it's actually different, but I'll show you how to change it.
Also, yes, please send in any questions, suggestions, anything you have for Hard to Swallow. We love doing the show. It is a queer-centric show. I mean, we answer all kinds of questions, but you know.
Yes, we talk about.
We're queer.
But let me kind of piggyback. Just because something's queer-centric, guys, I want you guys to know you can still. I myself watch. Me personally, I watch a lot of shows. I watch. I mean, people have issues with them, but I'm a Joe podcast fan to the core. I've been watching it for years. I love their music and life. Yeah, but everybody has a taste. I listen to it for different reasons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's what I'm going to say, that we talk about issues relating to Black women, Black men, Black gay men in particularly. But those are the two people that we do center. But there's feminism, there's sex, there's dating, relationships that you've seen today.
Right.
The nitty gritty.
What I've learned about for the beauty of Ballroom Throwbacks and BRTB TV, as far as like with Triangle, is that we have so many different type of viewers that you would never think would watch the content.
Yes.
From my ballroom content to my show Triangle. As you know, it's so many different viewers from different races, different men, different women.
Like 50-year-old Black women and Uber drivers, you know.
I mean, it
just in the car with some mama and they're like, are you Derek?
Okay.
The first couple of years really shocked me. I would be like, because so many women would tell me that they watch the show. Now if I'm used to it, and they're really invested, and I appreciate all those people. So guys, please make sure. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. I really appreciate that.
Oh, and Triangle, support us on Triangle. Me, Emery, and I.
Yeah, somebody said I'm so important to the culture. Thanks for the varied representation. I appreciate that. Hi, my love. I miss y'all so much. God bless you. Thank you, Denise. Okay, and make sure you guys follow them. I'm going to have Emery send me a description to put in here so it can also have all that information and how to get to their podcast, because I know some people want to click on a hyperlink. You know how that shit goes, guys.
Yes, I will be sending that to you.
All right, I love you guys. Thank you again. Subscribe.
Love you, Steve. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate
it. All right.
Have a good night.
Good night. Oh, ciao.